You've probably heard the advice before to just start your podcast messy. But mess isn't great, and just jumping in without any planning or strategy is a recipe for disaster, in my opinion. So, what do you need to focus on, and what can you skip? Hey there, I'm Julia Levine, aka the Podcast Teacher, and you're listening to Podcasting for Solopreneurs, the show that helps online business owners grow their podcast to get more listeners, leads, and sales. In today's episode, we're talking about simplifying the process without cutting corners, because you don't want to wing it, but you also don't need to wait until every detail is perfect. So I'm going to walk you through the must-haves, the nice-to-haves, and some mindset myths that are keeping a lot of smart, capable people stuck in planning mode. By the end of this episode, you'll have a crystal clear roadmap to launch your podcast with confidence, even if you're brand new. Let's break down what matters, what doesn't, and how to move forward without the overwhelm. Before you even think about mics or editing software, you need clarity, because this is what separates a podcast that builds momentum from one that just fizzles out after a few episodes. So I want you to start with your why. Why are you starting this podcast? Are you using it to generate leads, nurture your current audience, or to establish yourself as the go-to expert in your niche? Ideally, your podcast will do all three in time, but which goal is your priority right now? Next, get clear on your ideal listener. Who exactly are you talking to? Something like anyone interested in life coaching is too broad. Go deeper and picture one specific person. What does that person want? What are they struggling with? What kind of language do they use when they're talking about their problems or their desired solutions? Your podcast should feel like a conversation with that person. And when you get this part right, your content becomes magnetizing, attracting more of the right fit people. After that, you want to define your core message. So, what is the big idea behind your show? What is the transformation that you want your listeners to experience after listening to an episode? Maybe it's confidence. Maybe it's clarity on their direction or their next step. Maybe you're giving them concrete strategies to implement. Whatever it is, that message should be at the core of your content, even when your topics vary. So before you dive into the tech and the tools, take the time to identify your why, your who, and your what. These three anchors are what turn your idea into a podcast that actually serves your audience and supports your business. Once your foundations are clear, it's time to talk about equipment and software, because for some reason, a lot of aspiring podcasters think that you need to have a lot of top-tier tech in order to create a professional show. But really, you just need a few basics. Do yourself a favor and avoid Googling best podcast mic. I promise that you will end up going down a rabbit hole and just come out more confused than you were in the first place. I'll keep it simple and say that I recommend that you purchase a Samson Q2U. It's a dynamic USB microphone that produces great sound and plugs directly into your computer. Most podcasting mics require an additional piece of equipment called an interface in order to work, but this one is just plug and play into your computer and it still sounds great. It's what I started with and is what I am still using today recording this episode. And the best part is that it only costs about $70 US. Next up is software. You will need somewhere to record and edit your podcast. My recommended free option for audio only is Audacity. Or if you want to include video, you can use Descript or Riverside for about $25 a month. Finally, you need a hosting platform. This is the place where your podcast lives on the internet, and they take care of pushing your episodes out to places like Apple and Spotify each week. There are a lot of options, but my personal favorite is Buzzsprout. In my experience, they are the easiest to use, have great features and analytics, and have the best customer service. I pay $12 a month to host my podcast with them. I'm also a proud affiliate, and you can save $20 if you sign up using my link, which is thepodcastteacher.com/Buzzsprout. So, a basic microphone like the Samson Q2U, recording and editing software like Audacity, and a hosting platform like Buzzsprout, those are the only things that you must have in order to start your podcast. You don't need a $700 mic, you don't need soundproof padding on your walls, or you don't need expensive software. You just need the clarity and confidence to start with what's truly essential. There are a few nice-to-have options if you have a little extra room in the budget, or if you just want to save yourself some additional time and energy. In terms of equipment, a boom arm is a handy upgrade. It holds up your mic in place and frees up desk space, and that can make your setup more comfortable and easier to work with. I love my boom arm. You might also choose to hire a podcast manager to take editing, show notes, graphics, and other tasks off of your plate. Feel free to contact me if you're interested in this. I do have a few open spots at the time of this recording. But all of those things are extras. They are not required, and none of them should stand between you and hitting publish. I demonstrate how to use your equipment and software step by step inside Podcast Startup Academy, which is my signature course for beginners. Now, let's shift into a little mindset moment. You can have the perfect plan, a great format, and all the tools, but if you keep waiting until everything feels ready, you'll stay stuck in limbo. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, I am not the just start messy and figure it out along the way type of person. I believe in strategy, clarity, and intention. But I also believe that progress beats perfection every single time. The most successful podcasters that I've worked with weren't the ones who had the fanciest setup or the most polished editing. They were the ones who committed to showing up, even when things weren't quite perfect. They treated podcasting like a skill, not a performance. They treated it as something to build and refine and grow over time. This also means trusting that your voice and your message are already enough to help someone. You don't need 10 years of experience or 100 episodes under your belt in order to be valuable and helpful. You just need honest episodes that speak directly to the right listener about the right topics. And yes, you will get better over time. Your delivery will improve, your editing will get faster, your confidence will grow. But none of that happens unless you start. So instead of asking, am I ready? I encourage you to try asking, am I willing? Willing to learn, to grow, to stay consistent, even when it's not perfect or it's uncomfortable. Podcasting isn't about being fearless, it's about doing it scared, with purpose, clarity, and a commitment to keep going. So there you have it. What you really need to start a podcast and what you definitely don't. You are more ready than you think, and your listeners are waiting. If you've been holding back, waiting for the perfect time, I hope that this episode gives you the clarity and confidence to move forward. Remember that your podcast doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to start. And if you want step-by-step guidance to launch your podcast without having to second guess every decision, Podcast Startup Academy is for you. This is my signature program designed for online business owners who want to create a podcast that actually grows their audience, nurtures leads, and brings in clients. Inside the Academy, I'll help you clarify your message, plan your content, use your tech, and launch your show with confidence without wasting time or money on things that you don't really need. So if you're serious about starting and you want a clear path that feels doable and aligned, Podcast Startup Academy gives you the roadmap and support to get it all done. You can check it out at thepodcastteacher.com/academy. Until next time, happy podcasting.